Here is worksheet from chapter 6. This part we have 70% of adult smokers started smoking before turning 18. Part A, if 200 adult smokers are randomly selected, how many would we expect have started smoking before turning 18 years old? So how many would we expect? That means we have to find mu. So what is given? Our sample size is 200. Our P is 70%. Q is 1 minus P. So it's 30%. Part A, finding expected value. That means we have to find mean. So mu is n times P. Our sample size is 200. Our P is 0.7. So the answer is 140 smokers. Now part B, would it be unusual to observe 160 smokers who started smoking before turning 18 years old in a random sample of 200 adult smokers? Why? So part B, here we have to find usual values. But before finding that part, we need to know what is standard deviation. So standard deviation is equal to square root of n times P times 1 minus P, which is equal to square root of n times P times Q. So square root of our sample size 200, P is 0.7, Q is 0.3. That is equal to square root of 42, and the answer is 6.48. Now we have to find usual values. Which is maximum is mu plus 2 times standard deviation. And for minimum, that is mu minus 2 times standard deviation. This is what we had in empirical rule. Within 2 standard deviation, what we had for that part was 95%. That 95% is for usual values, and what we have in tells us 5%, so 1 minus 95%, 5%, and 5% was for unusual values. So 95% of data are within 2 standard deviation, and here we have to find max and mean. In this case, mu is 140 plus 2 times standard deviation. And here we have to subtract. So here is the answer. We have 152.96. For max and for minimum, we have 127.04. So this is our interval. The smaller number here on left, and the larger number is on right. What was asking us, would it be unusual to observe 160 smokers? So we have to see if 160 is that number here in this interval. So 160 is not in this interval, it's greater than 152.96. So it's outside this interval, meaning that this is not usual. Because what we have here, this interval is for usual values. So 160 is not in this interval. That means this is not usual, or this is unusual.